So Kathy says, "Hi, Matt. A new guy I met online told me he's never spent, I think you're trying to say spent, $150 on anyone, even his mom. He has a good, stable job. Is that a red flag? How can I find out?" Well, it's not necessarily a red flag. What it is a pattern, right? So he has a pattern in his life of not spending money on people. And so what that tells me about him is that he's not very generous, which isn't necessarily a problem. It could be a problem if you like to live a lavish lifestyle, right? Even if you have your own money, it could be a problem. If you like to live and enjoy a lot of things and spend money on each other and all that kind of stuff, or if your primary love language is gift giving, right? So and you feel like somebody has to give you gifts in order to feel loved, that there's a way to change your feelings and your rules and how you feel loved if you want to. It could be a problem if you like to take trips, if you like to do things where you're spending money and he doesn't want to spend any money because you're with a guy who's kind of stingy, right? And it's not necessarily a bad thing, because usually, like, there's this thing out there, there's a book out there, it's called The Millionaire Next Door, right? And it talks about the differences between wealthy people and people that don't have any money but spend a lot of money, right? And there's a big difference. Most people think that people with nice cars who spend a lot of money on different things and go out to lavish dinners, most people think that those people are rich people. And most of those people aren't rich people at all, right? They're actually just high income earners who spend a lot of money. And they might be in total debt and, swimming in financial debt and have huge problems and are 1 month away from, being in total financial collapse, right? Whereas people that are wealthy, they tend not to spend a lot of money on a whole bunch of things because they don't care about showing everybody how wealthy they are and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of a different topic, but it's kind of a thing to think about, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything necessarily bad going on there, right? Like, how else does he treat you? How else does he make you feel? How else, does he spend time with you and do things? It's not necessarily a red flag that he doesn't spend money on people, right? Basically what he's trying to do is, my guess, if I was him and I was in his shoes and I was telling a woman online that I met or was talking to that I only spend I've never spent more than $150 on anybody before, why would I say that to somebody, right? Why would a guy who's dating out there say that to a woman? And the obvious answer is that he's trying to weed out gold diggers, right? He's trying to weed out women who are trying to use him for his money. That would be my guess for why he's actually saying that. And so you just want to get in, have a little bit of compassion and get into the mind of the person that's talking to you and say, okay, why would this person say this to me, right? Like, you guys are talking online. I have no indication that you guys have actually met up with each other in real life. And so you guys are talking to each other online and he's telling you that he's never spent $150 before on a person. My guess is that he's testing you in some way, whether consciously or not. And he's trying to figure out whether you're a gold digger or not. And if you are a gold digger, he's trying to weed you out because he's probably scared that he's going to meet a woman who just wants money from him and wants him to invest in him, because a lot of guys out there right now are really afraid of women using them for things, just like a lot of women are afraid of a guy using them just for physical intimacy and hooking up and, not actually getting into a real relationship. Guys are really scared of women who are trying to use them for money. They're trying to use them to get into a position where they're just in a relation, like that. It's like, it doesn't matter what guy, this guy will do, right? And so he's kind of a placeholder for you so that you can say, look, I'm in a relationship, everybody, I'm happy. Aren't you guys happy for me, right? Which is what a lot of people do, right? People do this all the time. Men and women do this all the time. They want somebody because they can say that then they're in a relationship and that they're not dysfunctional and that their friends and their family don't think that they're going to be alone for the rest of their life and all that kind of stuff. And so there's a lot of different reasons why this could happen. And so you need to kind of gauge what's happened in your conversation and figure out what those things are. But no, I don't necessarily think that it's a red flag that he hasn't spent more than $150 on somebody in his life, unless, you know, you're looking for a certain type of lifestyle that he's probably not going to end up being able to provide for you if what you want is somebody to provide a lifestyle for you or with you if you like to go out and spend lavishly and, you know, go to expensive, nice hotels and all those kinds of things, which there's nothing wrong with, by the way. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I know women that love to do that. I have a friend actually who is very wealthy, and she loves going out to hotels and like staying at the nicest hotels she possibly can and traveling all over the world and all these things. And every guy that she dates is always has less money than she does. And so she, you know, there's challenges around that to making sure that he still feels masculine and like he's a man. And, you know, he's not able to spend as much money. And he's usually like, hey, why don't we just go to like a, you know, Comfort Inn or something like that? And she's like, no, I'm staying at the Hilton. Right. And he's like, and she's like, I'll pay for it. Right. And it's an interesting dynamic. And so those are the kinds of things that you might want to think about, as opposed to thinking that it's a red flag. It could be a yellow flag, but red flag, I don't know about that.